Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Ozapi here, back again with Demon Slayer. We are on episode 21 of Season 1, and in the last episode we had the conclusion of the fight that started a couple episodes with Tanjiro and Rui. Tanjiro, it looked like, obviously, he had gone through the head, but something insane happened. Like, the last thing I ever expected to happen, but it was so cool. Rui chopped off his own head before Tanjiro did, to basically obviously secure like himself so that he wouldn't die. It's just a cool like little thing that completely like I just would have never have thought of, but it's so like ingenious. But obviously it all came to nothing because Giyu comes to the rescue again and just absolutely floors him. Like nothing, like it just takes absolutely nothing from Giyu. It's crazy. Like the power scale in this show must be like ginormous between like the lower moons and the higher moons or the upper moons, surely. Like there has to be something there because like a massive gap, because it just seems like why wouldn't you just have Giyu and like all the Hashira just go out and fucking dominate these guys if they were all like that, you know? It just seems like that with like no sweat there, you'd have to assume that if the 12 Kizuki are the elite, and the only one higher than that is Muzan himself, then, you know, like, I don't know, like, the upper moons have to be on par with the Hashira, I'd assume. I'd have to imagine that that's the case, but I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so Rui is dead, though he hasn't completely gone yet. It ended off last episode with him, I think, getting his memories back, and in this episode we're going to get to see those. Which I'm interested in, but we did get some information last episode in regards to, like, he does this because he didn't have any memories beforehand, and he was hoping to jar some memories by getting a family to get like a fake family together, and hopefully it would give him some memories of the past. I mean, I don't know if Muzan would actually like that happening. Like, for some reason in my head, I would think that Muzan would not like them to try and figure out what's going on in the past, like what happened when they were human, in case that would make, you know, the likes of Rui second guess his allegiance to Muzan. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. And yeah, I mean, that was pretty much. Other than that, it was like the sister who Shinobu took out. And yeah, I mean, I just second what I said last episode about. I feel like she deserved it in the end. Like, she was very sneaky and sly the way she was doing things. So yeah, fuck her. And yeah, also I do believe I did ask like about the blood highlighted on Tanjiro's blade, if that was actually the exploding blood demon art that Nezuko was using, and I think it was. So yeah, it was a combined attack, which I really loved. And I wrote down some other stuff as well. So Tanjiro's father promised to pass down the Kagura and earrings. He promised that. So he would have promised to do that for somebody else. Who? Fucking God knows, but it's clearly someone important. This will definitely come back later on. There'll be somebody that will come across. It may even be the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps, because if there is this whole thing between Muzan and the Kamado family, I feel like there has to be an in between there. So there has to be something that is, or if it is, I wonder if like the earrings are a symbol of the leadership, like it because they were saying that they don't know who the Demon Slayer Corps leader is, and it seems like nobody knows. I wonder if that's like a little telling thing, that only the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps has access to this, to the Hinokami dance breathing thing and all of that. That was something that is there. The only thing that can beat Muzan is that breathing style, and therefore it's kind of like a thing that the leadership goes under the radar, but that's the sign that that's what it is. I wonder if that is the case. I don't know, but the fact that Tanjiro's father said that he promised to pass down the Kagura and earrings means that there's something there with that, and we don't know obviously who he promised that to, whether it was just a promise that he made to his father. I don't know, but then that would not make sense in the case of like, well, if Tanjiro was to fail, then surely the father would, his father would have given him the instructions to pass down this to your son, if that's the case, right? So I don't think it can be father to son in that promise, So I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. Who knows? Anyway, yeah. So there's that. I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. So we're going to get an episode 21 and see what we get. If you do want to go actually watch the reaction, then the link is in the description. That'll take you to the 10-minute version. There'll also be a link there to the full length if you want to watch the full thing and not just the 10-minute version. Then the option is there. But yeah, nothing else to really talk about. So we're going to get an episode 21 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 21. I really enjoyed that episode, and while I was, after I record, like, I have like a minute or two where I just sort of like flip through the episode or anything like that, just to make sure that I got everything that I want to talk about, and I've just fucking realised they didn't get Rui's blood. Great. All that, they didn't even get his fucking blood! God, just sucks. It sucks. I mean, I get it. Like, because it was in a situation where, like, Tanjiro was in a one frame mindset of like protect Nezuko. So obviously that was like the last thing on his mind. But even at the very end, when he was like, when he had the option to take the blood, even if it just never crossed his mind, like, he decided to comfort Rui at the very end, and that's what like it just confirms his personality, and it goes to show like that it's not all put on. Not that it would be, you know what I mean? But it's like legitimately the first thoughts that come to mind in Tanjiro's head are those of like sheer kindness. So, he could have gotten the blood there instead of comforted him, but he didn't, because that's the way that he is. But it does ring kind of. It's like a worrying thought that, because every major demon that we've had, like, they've all been sympathetic to a degree, you know what I mean, like at the very end. So it's like, well, are you ever going to get any blood from, I don't know, it might be a thing where he just ends up getting the blood from Muzan straight up, who knows. But yeah, didn't get the blood, but whatever. Anyway, I mean, into the sort of backstory, which is what I was interested in seeing. And yeah, it didn't disappoint. I think a lot of it did make sense. It seemed as though the memories and whatnot, I don't know if it was truly tied to the idea that, like, because he was getting stronger, his memories were just fading, and then eventually it would just get to nothing, and he wouldn't remember. But like, I don't know whether it was that, or because he said that I had no choice but to believe everything that Muzan was saying and everything like that. So it could have been a thing where he was just like, like he was purposely blocking it out, kind of thing. And then after a while, it just became like a thing that actually did block. Like, it just, he ended up doing it subconsciously, so he didn't have to like think about it anymore. Until that very end where it did come out again, you know what I mean? I think the reason why getting a fake family together never triggered those memories back was because he was the one blocking them. It wasn't truly, it wasn't like he truly had forgotten them. I think it was just that he was keeping them out of his mind, and then like at the very end, it was just a kind of thing of like, he had, there was nothing left like there to stop him from keeping it out. But yeah, his parents, so caring, man, so loving. Parents are great. and it it just like it's so tragic, and yeah, that ties into the whole thing of Tanjiro talking about them like they're tragic creatures. And yeah, I agree with them. I agree with them totally. Because at the end of the day, it's for some of them it is like the kind of zombie thing where, you know, obviously yeah, they were once humans, but the zombies themselves, like, you know, that's in relation to the more feral ones, the ones that don't have any real sort of thoughts going on in their head. But the other ones, the more intelligent ones, they do keep that sort of, their personality can like kind of carries over, and they do the things that I feel like they would do when they were human, which sort of gives me like that whole sense that, you know, the sister or whatever, she was like sly when she was a human as well, and not just a thing of when she was a demon. But yeah, I mean, fucking hell, man, poor parents, man. I mean, they were even going to kill themselves afterwards, which, like, just for the sake of the sins that, like, the son committed. And I don't know if it was. It seemed as though it was against the parents' wishes, right? That Rui becomes a demon. So I guess it was entirely like Rui just accepted. I mean, this is the thing as well, like, because obviously, I guess you could have like if you thought about it from one side, you could easily say that, like, well, Rui decided to become a demon, and I assume he knew what, like, the consequences going in, because when he was talking about it, he was like, my parents didn't like that I was turning into a demon because I had to eat people and stuff like that, so I assume they knew going in before he'd even been turned. But the thing is though, like, what I gather is that if he had refused, then Muzan would have just killed them anyway, because, you know, like, he can't, it's like a risk thing of, like, he can't have his face exposed. And also I just feel like Muzan himself would probably be like very arrogant and like cocky and egotistical about the idea that he was refused, and then just kill them straight up out of spite. But yeah, I mean, it sucks the fact that, like, he was overcome with anger, so he just killed his parents anyway, and then realised after the fact of what they were planning to do. And then even the mother just, like, saying that, like, our last words basically saying, like, I'm sorry that I gave birth to you with just basically an unhealthy body. I don't know. Yeah, I said it during the reaction. I don't know if it'll actually go into the reaction itself, but I did say, like, is it a general thing that, because I know anime do this a lot actually, that there'll be a character that is just weak and sickly, and like, that's just it. I don't know, because I'm trying to think of examples like in the real world where that happens, but unless it's like some kind of disability or anything like that they just don't say in the animes themselves, I don't know, because it could be a disability. I mean, because of the way that, like, they're so, like, you know, like the likes of like Rui, and that was, you know, straight up just coughing and everything, and like it's like they're always ill almost. I don't know if it's a case of like they've got some kind of disease, or like they, I don't know, maybe born without an immune system, so they're always just, I don't know. Because it's, you know, I wouldn't have brought it up otherwise, but yeah, it is just like, it's the idea that it's in a lot of anime where, like, you'll just get like a sickly, weak kid who struggles, you know. But yeah, so yeah, that's the way that he grew up. I'm surprised that he actually still had the hair that was like spider legs when he was a human. It just like kind of caught me off guard, because it's just like, well, you know what I mean? Because I thought like it was, although yeah, I mean, I suppose, like, what was it that really determined what their power was? like what their demon art would be, and like how they would. Now they became spiders, like that was their family thing. Like, how did that? Like, what determined that? I don't know. Don't know. And yeah, it ended up like sort of like severing these memories, which I assume that's what the visual was. Which was interesting, like that being snapped, but also like kind of the idea that his powers obviously like webs and stuff. It's kind of interesting that, and that he's like subconscious of being, like he was talking about. You know, I said in the reaction, it's like he must have had that subconscious in there somewhere, which is why I say that he had the memories all along. He was just keeping them back, was because his subconscious about being the strongest and everything like that, and how that was a big thing for him as a demon, because when he was a human, that's what he didn't have, and the reason why he became a human was to not be weak anymore. So yeah, but so yeah, the poor parents. And then I loved the whole thing of him reverting back, because that was a whole thing as well. Like last episode with the family and that, and at some points they would revert back. You know, another reason why I feel like everything Rui was doing was like keeping it back himself, and it wasn't something that he actually lost. Was that any time they went against him, or there was something that completely went against what Rui wanted to do, that they would revert back and go back to the way they were before. So, you know, but and that's why, like at the end there, like Rui reverting back, that was him going back and opening like those, you know, like those memories again, and being, you know, for a split second being a human again. So yeah, I mean it's a definitely like just like another sort of tragic story. I think just because it's like it's not the same as the other ones, where not that it's less tragic as other ones, but like because he chose it, there's that whole thing, because he was weak as a human, and then it's just like, well, you know what I mean, if you're weak as a human, it seemed as though at the very beginning, like he wanted to go out and play with the other kids and everything, and he just was unable to. And I mean, just try and like imagine being stuck in the fucking house all the time, like essentially you're just lying and like laying and sleeping your life away. You know, I mean, what was his life gonna be like if he hadn't become a demon? You know, so it's not like a thing where I'm gonna like I can't blame him for wanting to have that. You know, it's just like the like a promise, like something that you can't really turn down, considering the circumstances. You know, and there's plenty of examples of shit like that. I'm sure like that's around like our world, where there'll be a thing that people turn to crime, or people will do a crime because they're given a certain amount of money, for example. You know, if they're in a shit situation, you have a person that's taking advantage of somebody like who's in a really shit situation, by whether they're poor or anything like that, and then obviously using money to get them on side. In this situation, it's a bit different, because obviously it's just like, it's not like, I suppose Muzan is actually taking advantage, because obviously what he's looking for there is to have him on side and kind of have him under his boot kind of thing. But with the, like, you know, Rui obviously he wouldn't have thought about it that way. To him, it's just, you know, I'm not going to be in this weak little body anymore. I'm going to be able to actually do something. You know, it's I think one of the like the harsh things, like the, you know, like the clear emotion from Rui, actually the one that like is a bit like heart throbbing, is the like when the father sort of comes, like, you know, opens up the door, whatever, and he's basically telling, like, Rui, he's like, what the hell have you done, kind of thing. And this, like, Rui is as a child just looking up with, like, those eyes, but, like, not understanding, like, it's like he kind of knows that he's done bad there, but I think it's also the fact of, like, again, this whole thing that he has with family, it's like he wasn't expecting that. And yeah, it's just yeah, it's tough. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing with Tanjiro and Gyu, basically Gyu, like, you know, stepping over Rui's like, you know, his robe, and you know, basically saying, like, you know, don't have any sympathy for those that have killed others and whatnot. Like, to me, it's like they need to die, of course, you know. They need to be rid of the world, because it's like, obviously, that what you're seeing is they don't change their mind until they are dead, and then it's like, well, the last thing that it's like they have to come to terms with death, and therefore it's like their last, like, sort of memories or anything, it kind of just, I suppose in a way it's kind of like flashing through their life, right? It's like when your life flashes before your eyes, kind of thing. I wouldn't, like, I suppose it's kind of like the same way, where it's just like it all just kind of opens up, and it's like it forces the demon to kind of be like, oh, how did it ever get to this, kind of thing. And like I was played with in a way, like, just this idea that, like, it would be like if you know, I always bring back the zombies because I fucking love zombies, but it would be like if zombies and everything like that, like, there's no way you can reason with them, right, once they're a zombie. But it would be like if you had to kill a zombie, and then every time you kill a zombie, they would, for a brief moment, like, come back as a human, and it would be like all of their life came back just for that one moment, and you had to basically endure watching somebody die and be like, fuck, like, what happened, what have I done, kind of thing. But they were, like, under the control of this, like, demon fucking, like, virus thing, whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. So in that regard, even though I love Gyu, like, I have to completely side with Tanjiro in that way. Like, a lot of the demons I've sympathized with, because it's just like, well, you know, how do you? I don't know how you can sit there and be like, you know, watch, like, reliving these characters, like, stories of before they were a demon, or how it got to that point after they're dead anyway, and still give them shit for it. Like, oh, well, you fucking deserve it anyway because of what you did, kind of thing. But it's like, dude, like, it wasn't truly them, you know. I think some people may, like, say it as like, well, why can't they just, like, not kill people when they become a demon, as if it's, like, that easy. Because I guess they see, like, Nezuko as, like, the first demon we ever see, and they, like, assume that, like, oh, well, I guess it's that easy. But I mean, the show's even said, like, they like, more often than not, and not even just more often than not, like, the vast majority, like 99.9999999% of demons will straight up just murder their family members because they don't know like, they don't see the relationship that they had. It's like they don't have any control. I think it's different for Nezuko because of I think she has blood that allows her to be that way. Like, you know, I think it helps with whatever the Kamado bloodline is, which is, I feel, is what is, like, their driving force and the reason why they're the protagonist of the story. That allowed Nezuko to kind of combat it in that way, and she doesn't. She's obviously, unlike any other demon, she's able to not eat people. But, like, for just every other demon, that's not the case. I assume they become demons, and it's like, right, well, fucking, fuck it, I need food kind of thing. It's the same with like, zombies. That's just their one mindset kind of thing. With demons, I feel like it's a bit more like varied, because like I say, like zombies are just, they don't have anything left of their past selves because they're dead now. So it's just the one instinct, and that's it. But with a demon, obviously it being like variables and everything like that, which is, I think Rui had it a bit because he didn't attack, like he was fine living with his parents, and he didn't attack them. I assume it must be because it looked like Muzan was clearly like keeping, like he was in short proximity to what was going on. I don't know if he was like living there with them or what, but it seemed as though he must have like had control over it. Like, oh, like if you get hungry, he has a body I got for you. You know what I mean? So you don't go straight for your parents, which I guess is, if that is the case, then I suppose it's admirable on Muzan's part because we haven't really seen that as much. But like, I guess the idea that he allowed for his parents to remain alive throughout that whole thing, and I guess he must have had a discussion with them, like in that room, like debate, whether or not like the whole should my kid become a demon kind of thing. But also, like, I don't know. I guess Muzan's whole thing was like just to have somebody under his boot, like to have somebody. Because he's who was it that said that he liked him? I think it was the girl, right, that ended up getting tied up and burnt in the sunlight. I think she said that, right? That he was a favourite. I don't know whether if it was like a case of him being a favourite, as in that just it's because he's one of the Blood Moons that's why he's a favourite, or if she meant like it's a favourite, like Rui was a favourite out of everyone kind of thing, I guess we'll sort of find out if we see other Kizuki like given blood of their own to like their subordinates, Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. So what next? Yeah, so Zenitsu, he saved the others because of the fact that he killed off that one dude. It basically slowed the poison enough. So yeah, I mean, so it was definitely strange how that sort of panned out, because I was always like, I assumed that spider dude, the one with the spider body, the poison would have had to have been blood art, but it didn't obviously disappear when he died, but it did slow it, so it must have affected it somewhat. I suppose it would have been only something that guy could have done, because he had the spider body. He didn't have but then no, but he wasn't the one that administered the poison, though, was it? It was the little spider that did it. But that's the thing, though, the spiders themselves were demon art, though, because Inosuke like stabbed one and it disappeared like the blood art stuff normally does. It gives off that same effect. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the poison kind of worked, but it doesn't matter in the end. If it slowed it like it said that it did, then Zenitsu was the one that actually saved the others, which I really like, because he's a cool guy and he deserves it. And yeah, I mean, I guess that sort of ties it up with that whole thing that happened some episodes ago when he obviously when he was under the the poison or whatever, and he was basically just looking up and saying that I was in a dream where I basically saved people. So yeah, that kind of come full. So he actually did save people. So that's really cool. Yeah, and then Shinobu came flying through the fucking forest to kill off Nezuko. Now, I have a problem with this, right? I have an issue with this because she was fine. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was because Tanjiro was like on top of her, and like I don't know. Maybe like she thought like, oh shit, like, you know, the boy could be in danger here. So, you know, but it didn't look it. I mean, Nezuko was face down, right, and everything. But I mean, just the fact that she came flying through, right, to attack, and had Giyu not been there, like, Nezuko would be dead right now. And I don't know what are her parameters for what, like, constitutes straight up killing a demon, or punishment and becoming her friend. Like, where does the line start and stop? Because she was fine to sit and chat to the fucking sister who, like, literally just cocooned up a dude and was about to fucking turn him to mush. But then a passed out Nezuko deserves to be killed straight off the bat. I don't know what, like, come on, Shinobu. I don't know where, like, honestly, I don't know how to deal with Shinobu right at the moment. Because on one hand, like, I find her enjoyable. And she's quite funny. But then she's done she's doing shit that I'm just like, I don't like what you've done here. I don't like it. Just straight up try to kill Nezuko, right? And then she fucking went up to try to kill Giyu. And if the crows hadn't have started shouting out that Tanjiro and Nezuko should go into custody, like, that fucking foot blade that was in her heel was going straight towards fucking Giyu's face. And I don't know if Giyu, like, I mean, Giyu's a badass, but he wasn't expecting that, you know? That was something that was completely hidden from Giyu, so he didn't even know about the foot blade. But I don't know. I guess it could be safe to say that Shinobu wouldn't kill Giyu there, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's the thing with, like, Shinobu. It's like, I enjoy her as a character, but this episode, fucking hell, like, it kind of just, like, I don't know. I don't hate her by any means, but I need some fucking answers about what she's about. What is she about? I suppose that's what a character is anyway. I mean, the funny thing about her, the funniest thing about her is that her intonation never, like her intonation does change, but it's always under the guise of a smile and a happy sort of way of saying something. But you can tell the slight intricacies of, like, the way she, like, of what she's trying to say. So when she got angry, you could hear the slight change in, like, she's getting peeved off, but she's still saying it, like, through a smile, and you can tell that, like, you know what I mean. It's still like that very high pitched, like, very, like, she's content, but you can hear the little intricacies, which I really like. And actually, that's a really good job by the voice actress. Really, really good. And yeah, I think I was right. So the little girl who was in the final selection does have some connection to Shinobu. I said, like, some episodes ago that I recalled her at the final selection, like, having something butterfly related, and that, like, the character design or whatever kind of reminded me of her. And so I was wondering if that was the case, and it seems that is the case. So yeah, and specifically because she said the other, like, don't forget about the other one. So yeah, I mean, I assume there's definitely that connection there. I don't know if it's family related or what, but it could just be a case of, because I don't know if the Hashira themselves are, like, can they be masters? And that's what the little kid, the girl is was an apprentice of Shinobu. I don't know. I don't know, because that doesn't. I don't think that would ring true either, considering the way that the girl was with Nezuko. She was saying like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. All demons need to be destroyed anyway." And Shinobu has this whole thing of like, wouldn't it be nice to be friends with them, kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like with Shinobu, it's just like, I don't know. 1 minute she's here, next minute she's over here. I don't know the way she thinks. But yeah, I mean, Giyu going against the core rules for Tanjiro and Nezuko is great. It's awesome. Like it actually surprised me that Giyu was taken aback by that. That Nezuko was like, oh shit, it's the same one. I don't know whether it was just because he didn't realize the difference. Like he was like, holy shit, like she's not like, she's very calm and collected, and she's like different in that way, or what? I don't know, like what he was shocked about. I guess like when he was coming to save Tanjiro, like he just never noticed her. So I guess that could be it. And because Tanjiro went and covered her, he just didn't see her until that point. You know, it was a good thing he did, because he ended up saving her from bloody Shinobu. But yeah. What else? Butterfly Mansion. So I guess that's where they were camping out at, like where we kept going back at certain points, where the dude who's like sending the crows off with like messengers and stuff. I guess that's where that is. That's Butterfly Mansion there. And they're going there to see the mansion guy, like the head of the mansion. So yeah, it'll be cool to get some like information from him and like just see what's up, and also to actually see his face for the first time, if we do anyway. I hope that's the case. And yeah, so we got introduced to the Kakushi, who were actually in the last episode as well, but they're the cleanup crew. So yeah, they have a cleanup crew that goes after every major fight. I don't know if it's every major fight or if it's like the aftermath of just like a one-on-one thing. I guess not, because demons disappear anyway. I guess it would be in a situation where humans have been affected. But yeah, that makes sense, because the whole world isn't like aware of the demons and stuff. It's still like a thing that goes on in the shadows, and some people believe it, some people don't. I guess most people don't, but it's kind of like a legend thing that does actually occur, and so it makes sense to have cleanup crews so that the evidence and whatnot is just not there. It's interesting how they wrap up them like mummies though. Like, I wonder what that's for. Is it like some kind of like quarantine thing, you know, in case like they've got a bit of like, I don't know, there's a chance maybe they could turn into a demon, or a demon has some kind of blood art that, I don't know, like activates inside a fucking human body, and therefore, like, you know, if it's wrapped up, then I guess it can't work that way. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, and then we had Inosuke, who got taken down from from being wrapped up off a tree branch. And yeah, I thought he might have been like asleep or passed out from obviously taking that much like punishment, but no, I think it. I like the way that it is, but it's very sucky for like Inosuke, because at this point it's kind of like he's lost his spirit, that he never really did anything, which is obviously getting to him, you know. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. It could be a thing where like Tanjiro goes to see him or comes across him, and he's expecting Inosuke to be his usual self, and he's just like very like down, you know, down in the dumps kind of thing. And then yeah, we had the Hashira crew. So the other Hashira, I'm assuming that these are the rest of them. So we've got them here. I'm assuming this is the rest of the Hashira crew. Obviously Shinobu's there, Giyu's not, but I'm assuming these are the rest. And they're very fucking cool. Like, they're very cool. That guy in the middle's got like a cape like fucking, what's his name from fucking, it's Naruto's dad. It was like the Hokage, and he had that like white, and then it went into like red and like orange at the bottom. So that's what it reminds me of. I don't know if it's I suppose it's a kimono that he's just like wearing over the top, and he's not actually got his arms in. But well, who knows? That one at the very back left, he's like doing the same, but his doesn't look like a kimono. But they just all look fucking cool. I suppose like the most plain one is that one, like at the like kind of in the center, but at the left, like the girl. I suppose it's a girl. Fuck knows, man. Like, I know what anime is like. It'll come to a point where it's like, no, I'm actually a boy, and I'll be like, yep, of course, you know. But they all look really cool. I love the fact that you can't see that one at the back left's like sword, or even if he has one. But he seems like very religious. He's got like some kind of beads there. I want to see like all these people fight. He's got like a mad scar as well, like across the forehead, which is insane. He also just doesn't have any pupils or irises at all. Yeah, they look cool, man. That guy in the middle, I'm wondering, because he has what looks like to be a flame hilt on his katana. Which makes me wonder if he actually does fire breathing, which is going to be interesting to see, like if there's a difference between that and the Hinokami dance breathing, because it's. I mean, I refer to the Hinokami dance breathing as fire breathing because it just looks like fire. But if there is one that is literal fire breathing, I don't know if it's going to be much different. I don't know. But yeah, that guy on the right looks like really cool. Yeah, he's my favourite look-wise. Like, his fucking... It looks like he's got two, right? So he's doing, like, it's the whole, like, Inosuke thing. But he's got, like, a chain in between them. And I'm just interested to see, like, how he uses them in that way. I also want to see what they actually look like, the blades, because I can see, like, just behind them, behind his back, obviously, like, his blade is wrapped up, but it looks big. Like, it looks like a wide, girthy sword. Don't take that out of context, please. But yeah, I'm just interested to see how he would use it. Like, his headband's mad as well. It's encrusted with like jewels and stuff. He's my favorite character design out of the lot here. But yeah, I'm just interested to see all these characters. So yeah, we should get introduced to the next episode, I'd imagine. But yeah, I was really interested. Like, that was just a cool episode all around. And yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I've linked to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well, so you can go support me over there. And if you do, I'll be very much appreciative. These the couple of tiers there, like the early access tier for $5 a month. That gives you access to shows a week early. So of course, this episode and episode 22 will be out on YouTube at the same time. But if you do want to go watch episode 23 and 24 right away, you can do by becoming an early access tier patron. There's also $10 there for full length if you want to watch any of these in full and not just the 10-minute version. And then there are other tiers where you can pay to have a show reacted to as well. So if you want me to react to a show, go have a look at those tiers and see what they offer. But that's all I've got, so thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.